tomorrow we have to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, you do. I'm quitting tomorrow.
Are you?
I guess so. I guess technically I have to go back in, but I have to go in for 5 minutes.
I was trying to change the oil on a piece of machinery. It was so packed with chicken shit. I put my hand up in there and I'm like, oh. What about you? What was the worst job you've ever done? United States Navy.
No, I like that.
The job is to taste and analyze pet food.
Why? Why wouldn't they just give it to a dog or something? Be like, does it gag or not?
It's
perfect.
This is
It doesn't.
Oh, whoopsie. I did.
Or puss or mediocre. Oh boy. Here we go again. Good job. Good job.
I wish you were wearing your dress again.
No. You know what? It didn't even faze me to wear that dress. It wasn't even.
No, it fazed me.
I bet you were hard the whole time, yeah. It's a good look.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome back again.
This is KLYB. I'm here with my best friends, Jeremy, Brandon.
Hi.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm doing great.
Jeremy?
It's a little warm today, but
Yes, it is. These flies.
Felt good getting a little breeze into the studio here today.
Yeah. I can't wait for the cold to come and
Oh
wash
my
these
God.
flies all return to the pits of hell.
Yeah, dude, when insects die,
Yeah.
it's my favorite.
Yep.
Absolute favorite.
I thought you was about to start beatboxing.
Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. So today, which this is going to come out after we are already back to work, but tomorrow we have to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, you do. I'm quitting.
Are you?
I guess so. I guess technically I have to go back in, but I have to go in for 5 minutes or so and say, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out.
You're quitting tomorrow?
Yeah,
Why didn't you talk to me about this first?
I don't know.
I would have totally quit with you, but now I don't have enough time to like prep that.
All you got to do is prep a speech. That's probably like 3 sentences.
Fuck
Not
you.
even 3 sentences,
Fuck you,
3 words.
Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out. Can I steal yours?
Yeah. We should actually go in there and sync up and we'll say it at the same time, point at the same people, and then just dip. And then as we're walking out the door, we'll open the door, we'll look back, we'll say, we'll come back for our toolboxes later.
That leads us right into our topic for tonight,
Okay.
which is jobs, work, bullshit,
Yeah.
bullshit jobs and bullshit work for overtime hours and bullshit pay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Oliver Anthony said it best. So
that's a great song. First of all,
it is a great song.
He nailed it on that.
It is a great song. So, and with that, I would like to bring up the point, right, that there's so many jobs out there that people don't even understand are fucking jobs. They just expect like life to happen without realizing that there was somebody that had to make, build, fix, continue to fix in order for them to live their cush lifestyle. You know, like, for instance, Target. How many go to Target every fucking day and spend thousands of dollars, and they walk in one day and go, oh shit, they remodeled, they changed. But they don't realize there was 80 fucking people involved in a 5-month fucking overhaul.
Yeah.
And they slaved day in and day out, or they slaved at night because
They were closed.
there was some Karen that was going to bitch about a fucking construction worker in aisle 7 during the daytime. So they had to work overnight hours when nobody was there to get the job done. So that rolls us into it. There's so many bullshit jobs out there.
Yeah.
There's also really good jobs. I want to start with Jeremy. What is your job? What do you do for a living other than sit there and push buttons?
Yeah, I just recently got hired pushing buttons, but I climb them wind turbines. I don't know. Some of you listening might not have them around, but here in Iowa, we have a shit ton of them.
A shit ton.
So yeah, I climb wind turbines and fix them.
Clean energy.
Get some energy. Get some ACs running for you during these hot days.
Yeah.
Clean energy. Jeremy makes sure that there's clean energy around the world.
Yep. Green energy.
Green energy.
Ish.
Yeah, I mean,
Except for when, except for,
we don't even get down to the details.
Yeah.
It's green.
except for when gearboxes blow up and they contaminate a whole cornfield with 80 gallons of gear oil.
Well, it's usually contained inside.
Well, that's what we say in the report.
No,
So that,
it's contained. Trying to keep it job.
we're not talking about it. Brandon,
Yeah.
what do you do for germs?
For germs.
What do you do for germs? What do you do for a
anything for
living?
germs? I am a mechanic, heavy equipment mechanic.
Heavy equipment mechanic.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. Sometimes it's not always heavy equipment, but
Yeah, sometimes it's bullshit little equipment,
little stupid things that
Doesn't
shouldn't
matter.
be my job.
right?
Yeah.
Not my job, bro.
Not my job.
So now that we know what you two do,
What do you do?
I am Brandon's boss.
He is not my boss.
I am also a heavy construction equipment technician. We fix diesel engine driven, gas engine driven
Yeah.
equipment for building, construction, any kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Rental.
Some things don't even have an engine. Some things are just electric.
All electric. Fuck, that's such bullshit, man. Fuck electric and cars and
Yeah.
fuck all that shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we have those blue collar jobs, is what you would call it.
Yeah.
We're blue collar boys, start to finish, go to work, slave away, make a paycheck, bitch about everyone that sells insurance and
sits in an office
sits in an office.
or worse yet, which I can't because my wife does this, but works at home.
Works at home. So Jaden was talking about this last night, actually. She was having a conversation with one of her friends, and she was talking about a time where I looked at Jaden because her office is set up like in our living room, and we were having a conversation one day, and I go, I can't fucking believe that they pay you as much money as they do to sit at that computer at home.
Right.
And the way I said it, like,
Sounded like a dick.
it took away
What
all
she
the
does.
importance of
Yeah.
what she does. And I didn't really realize it at the time because that's not how I meant it. How I meant it was like, when you think about what we do,
Mm-hmm.
when you climb a fucking tower and you got to lay under a gearbox, or you got to fucking take fan blades off or put them on, or when we got to fucking crawl into a fucking scuttle hole to fix a piece of machinery. The way it came out was, your job is pointless and meaningless. But when you talk about like guys like us that are a physical labor type job, right?
Yeah.
You know how much work and effort goes into what we do. So I was coming from the perspective of like a blue collar worker where it's like I physically have to fuck my body up to get a job done. So I was aiming it as like, I can't believe you can make that much money
Yeah.
and you get to sit in our living room and do it. And that's how I meant it. Not like
Your job.
your job is
Yeah.
not important and you make a fuckload of money.
Which
And-
isn't it funny because both of our wives work from home and they make more than both of us.
Right?
That's
Right?
isn't it? But that's like when I was in the Navy, they used to say, people would complain about their job and stuff. You'd be like, well, choose your rate, choose your fate, because your rate's your job, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing. Like we chose this essentially.
Kind
of.
And I kind of feel like it's at any point in life, I think you get so wrapped up into, I need this paycheck to cover my bills.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you need and you know how much you make. And you just kind of assume that you can't leave that career path because that's what you know now and that's what you're good at.
Pretty much.
So you're always in this realm of,
You can't take a risk and
I
try to do
can't
something you
leave.
want to do. Yeah.
But in reality, most of the time, if you try, you probably can fucking do something easier for more.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to do it. So anyway, with that being said, we are going to talk about jobs and work and a few in and outs with those categories.
With those categories.
So what I wanted to start with was let everybody know what it is we do for a living, because we're not full-time podcasters. We, you guys don't think we're cool enough for that yet. So
we do this for fun with aspirations of doing it as a job.
That's exactly what it is. Hopefully one day we can do this full-time and you guys love listening to us. But
yeah,
I wanted to
KLYB guy first.
Yeah, get me off here and maybe you can really have a shot. I wanted to go through a few jobs that most people don't really think of, but they're labeled as like the worst jobs in the world.
Okay.
I wanted to, which this one fucked me up because I don't think this is a bad job. A truck driver.
Oh, they make quite a good. Well, I could see why it would be considered a bad job because a lot of them are over the road and you're gone.
Over the road, you're gone a lot, but that's just a blue collar job.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, a soldier. Yes,
yeah,
that is a bad job.
Yeah,
being a soldier, you should be an airman or a fucking seaman like Brandon.
I was a seaman, or I was an airman, but
so one job I wanted to talk about that most people don't really understand is like a miner, like a coal miner.
I was gonna say I was a miner once.
No, yeah, when you were 17,
and younger. For 17 years, I was a miner.
So being a miner, I don't think people understand, right? Because we're in this new age, right, Jeremy, where people are like, go green, clean electricity, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But what they don't understand, the power plant that provides backup energy, what does that run off of?
Yeah, a lot of it's going to run off coal.
There it is.
Yeah. I mean,
coal,
it's still very
natural gas
in the world today.
It's you can't get away from clean energy. Now in Iowa, people think that
you can't get away from
fossil fuels. A lot of people in Iowa think because we have so many wind towers and solar panels out there that our world's just clean and whatever. No, there's people that have to go underground, miles underground, and they have to bust out coal and they have to ship that shit back to the surface, and they do it all day long. And people don't realize how shitty that is.
Well, yeah, and it's not to mention like the batteries that go on electric cars. The fucking mining for all those batteries. That's not good either. I listened to a podcast one time about this lady who I don't remember what she did, but she lived in South America somewhere. And it used to be like green and full of green and life and shit,
trees and plants.
Yeah. And then, but it's got was it lithium? Lithium mines or whatever, and they're fucking just destroying the place to get fucking.
They dig the giant fucking holes
for fucking car batteries, basically electric batteries.
And in some of those places, right? I watched one like podcast that was similar to what you were talking about, but it was in like Ukraine or something. In those areas, there's not enough regulation, and these people are trying to sell it themselves. So they go down in these mines, and while these guys are running backhoes and bulldozers and giant excavators, they'll scoop a pile of dirt and they'll drop it. And then these people run in right between the hoe arm and the bucket, and they start digging in these piles to find these precious metals that everyone's looking for. And there's so many people that die in accidents in those mines because there's no regulations, and it's all for the electric batteries.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are still mining, even though you think that this world's going green. It's not. We're always going to depend on fossil fuels, and that's a fucking. If you know a miner, or if you run in or meet a miner, shake their hand, because that job is fucking brutal, and they don't pay well enough to do it.
Yeah.
As in coal miner.
Coal miner.
Yeah. Stay away from
the actual miners.
Yeah.
Another one on the list, a slaughterhouse worker.
I could see that being shitty.
So I have a lot of respect for slaughterhouse workers.
Absolutely. Our moms both work for Smithfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was involved with the building of a new packaging plant at one point a few years ago. And they're getting to a point now where like the way that they kill the animals is a lot more humane than it used to be. But there is people where their only job all day long was to, as a cow walked in, they slit its throat.
Mm-hmm.
That was their job. There was the kill floor, and then there was there was another floor. They'd move from that floor to the next floor, and there's people, their only job is to gut the animal and blah.
Yep.
And that's all they did all day long. Now, when you kill that many living creatures as a job every day, that fucks with people.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I love meat, right? I'm a fucking steak, hamburger, pork chop. That's my jam. And and you guys are the same boat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I know that that's the way of life, and that we raise animals to use them for food. But you don't think about the guy that's got to kill them every day.
Yeah.
And taking, even as a hunter, taking the life of something, it's not a fucking easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's your job, holy fuck.
Well, yeah, and seeing it that much.
And doing it that
daily.
Much. Every day you come in. And so I was told that there used to be a thing where in a slaughterhouse, the kill floor, they rotated people. So like it was either hourly or by the day.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be on the kill floor one day and your job for the day was to kill animals, and then they rotated you out. And then you'd have time off of being on the kill floor because they didn't want you getting
fucked up
from killing animals every fucking day,
Yeah, yeah. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job I've ever had. Honestly, I will say I've been pretty lucky. I haven't really had any jobs that were like super shitty.
Right.
Our current position now, I will say, is probably where I've had the worst
experience
as far as a shitty job.
Yeah.
And it, we had equipment that was on a chicken farm.
Yeah.
An active chicken farm. And one of the pieces of machinery broke down underneath the chicken barn. And the way that the barns were designed, the chickens would shit and they would fall through the cages and fall through the floor and then go to the bottom side of the barn. Well, they were using our equipment to scoop up all the shit in the bottom of the barn and haul it out. Well, this machine broke down and it was under the barn, and it was probably shin deep, fresh, wet chicken shit.
Mm.
And I had to kneel down in it and I had to pull apart this machine that was also just chicken shit everywhere. I mean, it was everything in there was chicken shit and feathers and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I that's probably the worst job I've ever had to do, was be underneath those, because as you're working on it, chickens are shitting on you.
Yeah.
You're getting shit on while you're doing your job.
I'd be like, nope.
And
pull this shit out.
I mean, between the smell and the flies and the
maggots.
I mean, remember that one where I was like, I need you to crawl under here, because as soon as I put my hand in it and I feel that wet chicken shit, I was puking.
Yeah.
I was trying to change the oil on a piece of machinery. And it was so packed with chicken shit. And I put my hand up in there and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Brandon, I need you to get under there and dig it out.
Yeah.
I need you to do it. And he did. He came and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. What about you? What was the worst job you've ever done? United States Navy.
No, I like that.
Like, yeah, I did too. The military was great.
So there's two jobs that I'd say that I've done that I didn't really care for. One of them was when I worked at Honeywell Aerospace.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a bad job. Like, wasn't hard really. It was just tedious and boring, and it just indoors. I don't like working indoors because I like having natural light and whatever.
Yep.
And so that just kind of bugged me because it was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
And then the second one was when I was a conductor for the railroad.
Yeah.
And that sucked mainly because I was just gone. Like, they'd call you, you'd go, you got 2 hours or whatever it was to get there. You'd go somewhere, and then you'd stay the night somewhere, and then you'd get up and you'd do it again. You'd come back, and then you get home, you go to sleep, and they call you. He's just gone a lot, and that's one
Yeah.
of the main reasons why I got out of the Navy was because, because I had kids, or I had a kid at the time, and I just didn't want to be gone all the time.
Gone, yeah.
And so that was like the thing. Yeah. What's you?
What about you, Jeremy? The shittiest job you ever had?
Mine was probably working at one of those packing plants in my hometown.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as like actually working at the packing plant. I was hired another contractor to paint like the pipes in that. So they'd shut down a section and all the pipes because it's always cold in there.
Yep.
And so all the condensation and stuff from the pipes, they would always rust them out, or like the paint would start peeling off of them.
Yep.
And you'd have to go up on these scissor lifts and sit there with a needle gun and just fucking start like, chipping out all the paint and stuff like that. And I thought I was making great money at the time. I think I was a freshman in high school when I was doing it for a whole summer. And it was like $8 an hour.
Yeah.
And it was fucking miserable. You're cold in there,
Yep.
and then you're dressed up in all this shit. Then you start sweating, and then you get all this shit all over you, and it stinks. And yeah,
So
it was miserable.
Yeah.
Circling back to the packing plants real quick, I had to go fix a machine in one of the packing plants locally here. And the machine broke down in this room where it was a hog facility. So they butchered hogs. And it broke down in the section of this building where they were packing pig heads into boxes. And one of the guys was standing there and he was doing his job. And I walked over to him. I go, I'm just curious, but why are they putting the head of the pig in a box? He goes, they sell them to Tokyo. They go to Japan. It's a they eat pig head, all the parts of a pig head. They eat it over in Japan.
Yeah, I've seen that before on like storefronts. You go there and they have the pig head in the like display case.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
weird.
know why you must eat like cheeks and brain and
tongue and eyeballs. And
See, I wouldn't even want to do the pig's feet.
no,
Even that
pickled
fucking
pig feet.
even that beef tripe.
Yeah,
Even that like looks gross as fuck to me.
dude.
So I can't imagine trying to do like a pig head or something. It'd be gross as fuck.
In the amount of heads that were going through this conveyor line, I mean, it was every foot and a half there was a pig head, and the conveyor never stopped the whole time I was in there.
Mm-hmm.
They were just picking them up, putting them in a box would go in another. I'm like, there's that many people that want to eat the shit that's in that pig head.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yep.
That was nuts. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. Did you know that there's a job that's called a pet food taster?
Oh, really?
The job is to taste and analyze pet food.
Why?
Good question. Then you want me to read about it real quick?
Why wouldn't they just give it to a dog or something? And be like, does it gag or not?
It's
Perfect.
Says
It doesn't.
although some people actually enjoy eating pet food for a living, it's fair to say that most of us are repulsed by it. This job involves eating really bad batches of animal products and comes with the risk of severe food poisoning. To be successful in this role, you will need a highly developed palate, a presence of mind not to swallow anything but your pride. So most pet food is like rendered down products from like a kill floor that like they take the intestines of an animal.
Yeah.
And they send them through a rendering plant and then they burn it down into like a fucking product and they make pet food. But apparently, to make sure the quality is good enough for your pet, there is a human that tastes it first.
That's ridiculous. You couldn't pay me enough. Although I would say that it's not as bad if it's the dry food, but which is still bad. But if once you start getting to that wet shit,
like the fucking cat food in a tin.
yeah,
like
because I've literally opened those before, all right. And like the food itself looks disgusting, but then there's like that fucking film of jelly fucking. We got to do that fucking challenge with the fish.
Dude, we have a cat and it's dry food.
Oh my gosh.
And we keep it in a big tub or whatever right next to his bowl. But I feed him in the morning right away. I hold my breath every fucking time I open that container because it smells so goddamn bad.
Right?
The dry food?
Yeah, the dry food. Yeah.
Right?
I don't mind the smell of like dry animal food. I don't think it's that bad.
I don't know.
Is it just like a you thing? Like
it might be just a me thing, but
it's a you thing.
I hold my breath. It's rough.
that's crazy.
The dry food, I can handle the dry food.
Yeah.
Like I could probably eat a couple kibbles of the dry food. It'd
Actually,
be fine.
I'm pretty sure I've done it when I was a kid before. Like, what does dog food taste like?
Right?
And it wasn't like terrible.
It's just a bunch
But
of
the wet shit, I ain't playing with that. Fucking
Yeah.
shit. That's just gross. What you got?
Okay. So before I throw up because you keep telling me about gross shit, the next job on this fucking ridiculously fucked up jobs that I want to talk about is an animal masturbator.
Is this for like insemination and shit
This
like
is
that?
for like artificial insemination and production of like cattle and horse and breeding for livestock.
That's less crazy to me than the food, the pet food taste.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
I feel like I could go a long way in that career.
So
Yeah, I bet you could.
I just want to say, Jeremy, I don't think you actually have to masturbate them. You just have to hold the sock that they masturbate into.
Oh, but he's gonna go full on. He's be like, I take my job very, very seriously.
Jeremy, it is impressive. Your numbers are through the roof. It's amazing how fast you turn these animals out.
Jeremy, in your first 6 months, you set a record for the most bulls jerked off.
Yeah, I got it down.
Yeah.
So anybody wants to reach out to me,
I think you're going to be doing the reach-ins.
You're the one doing the reach in, absolutely. But again, this is one of those jobs that people don't actually think about
Yeah.
as being a thing.
Yeah.
You know, and when it comes to livestock, right? These farmers, they want the best genetics so that their animals produce the most amount of, beef or pork per animal. And that's how they do it, by genetics. They breed for genetics. Now, when you sit and you buy your fucking bone-in pork chops you're eating on a Thursday night, you don't think about some guy had to hold on to a fucking pig cock with a sleeve in order to get them fucking little baby pigs grown up with enough meat on them that your pork chops come out fucking the size of a dinner plate. But somebody does. Somebody has to do it.
Well, then people also don't think about the hot dogs they're enjoying, where those are coming from.
Ooh, the hot dogs are.
Which I don't like hot dogs, so I'm good.
I tell you what, I really do like fucking hot dogs and chili dogs. You can't think about how they're produced and where they come from because it'll fuck you up a little bit thinking about it.
Honestly, that's a lot of the food that we eat.
Now,
Chicken nuggets.
moving away from, well, it's not really moving away from, it could be food if you're the right kind of individual. I wanted to ask you, both of you, do you think, so this next job I'm about to say, do you think after I say it, you would be able to do this job? Crime scene cleaner.
Yeah.
You think you could do it?
Yeah, there was actually a point of time where I was actually when I was looking at jobs, stuff like that came across as a job to apply for, and I thought about doing it.
A crime scene cleaner.
I could do it.
Yeah, I could definitely do it because
You think so?
the body's already gone. All the bodies are gone.
Yeah.
Like everything's gone. You're cleaning blood.
Plus, they
It's-
usually they
you
wear
don't get
hazmat suits and shit.
Yeah, you don't get the whole story behind it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, but can you imagine the smell? Because there's some of these where like people have been dead for an amount of time and they start to decompose, and you're not cleaning up just blood, you're cleaning up like bodily fluids
Well, like I said, there's
from decomposition.
like I said, decomposition. Spell that one.
Decomposition.
Can't spell it because it's not real.
That's a real word.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, they go in there with like hazmat suits and they have
Yeah.
respirators and shit. So generally, you're not gonna. I mean, you'll probably get a little bit, but it's not like you're just going in there with your nose to the air and smelling the fucking fecal matter and all that shit.
I don't know. I don't know if I would be down for that job. I mean, if somebody asked me to do it once, I could probably do it once and be like, it is what it is. But I think if that was like every day, it would be hard to wake up every morning and go, gotta go clean up another mess. I don't know if I could do it every day.
See, I don't think you're getting the decomposed every day. So,
Yeah.
like, I feel like
You're probably right.
I feel like those are the bad days at that job. It's like,
I bet you're right.
Decompose, this fucker's gonna smell.
I bet a lot of times it's just blood.
Yeah.
It's probably just like a bunch of blood and carpet and shit like that. I bet. I'll go, okay.
Honestly, like
Maybe I could do it more than I thought, but
I could definitely do it, but I will say this: they don't pay very well, so I wouldn't do it.
No, that's what we're trying to like expose here tonight is some of these jobs that people are like, I would never fucking do that. There's people that do it and they're doing it for so much less money than you probably make listening to our podcast.
Mm.
The some of these jobs that are shitty aren't making a lot of money. They're just people that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That is what's paying their bills. Fuck. I would not do it. I wouldn't do it. Like, it reminds me of the time, I don't know if you were here for this, but there was an individual that had to help the fire department in Clear Lake one time. There was a gentleman who passed away in his apartment. He was like the second or third story apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And he was well over 700 pounds.
Yeah.
And he passed away in his apartment building. And they found him because some of the other tenants started calling and saying, hey, there's a stink coming from somewhere. So they found him. The only way they could get him out was through there was like a double window. And they cut the window out and they put like a big body sack under him. And they used a telehandler. And they reached up and hooked it up to the telehandler, and they pulled him out the window and like brought him down. And it was like apparently leaking fluids while they were bringing it down. And and like
that would be gross,
right?
All right, that would be probably over the line.
That would be
leaking fluids underneath, because then you got to clean that shit up too.
That would be the day that I quit that job. I would walk in and be like, no,
Bob, I'm not doing this today.
No.
I had myself a healthy breakfast, and I'm not fucking about to let it go.
Take this job and shove it.
Shove it.
I ain't working here no more.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this list. I'm only going to do a couple more from this list because I have broadcaster is on it.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if I trust this list. Queen's Guard. That would be a shitty job.
That'd be boring.
I can see how that one would be shitty because people come and fuck with you all the time.
Yeah.
And you just want to like give them a little fucking shot with your gun.
Yeah.
Right into the chin. But you can't.
Well,
I've seen where they've yelled at them before though.
Yeah. Well, that and like the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Yeah.
When they go around there, and then like there's been hecklers and shit, and they fucking usually they light them up if they get too fucking uppity.
Yeah. So one of them on there was animal urine collector, which is kind of like the animal masturbator.
Yeah.
But then, the rest of that list, I didn't really agree with some of them. Like roofer, that's a shitty job, but it's not like a shit job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this next list that I brought though was unusual jobs.
Perfect.
Jobs that people are like, that's a fucking job.
Yeah.
How do I get that one? First one on the list, professional sleeper.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that before, honestly.
A professional sleeper. Your job is to sleep.
Yeah.
And there's a couple different variations of why they require this. But
it's usually testing and stuff.
A lot of it has to do with testing.
Yeah.
And one of the primaries is hotel chains. Hotels will hire employees to stay the night at the hotels and test the amenities. And part of testing the amenities is sleeping in the beds to give feedback on the pillows, the mattresses that they're purchasing for the hotels before they stock the hotel full of shit mattresses.
Yeah.
So your job is to just go sleep.
Yeah. I can see that.
I bet that one doesn't pay very much.
I can't. There's no way it pays very good.
Yeah.
Hotels do need to get better fucking pillows, though.
Yeah.
All of them.
I will say
Every single time the pillows are trash.
Marriott's usually have pretty decent pillows, though. They're almost like a feather down pillow, but they're not a real feather down pillow.
Yeah, I'm talking about like Motel 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
don't stay at them shit hotels, Jeremy.
It's Hilton or bust for him.
It's Hilton, Marriott. You know, if it's not 4-star or higher, I'm not staying there. I'm a bougie bitch.
You are a bougie bitch.
Must be nice.
Right? I know.
Can't take the money with me when I go, huh?
I was gonna ask something or say something. I cannot remember what it is.
Did you remember yet?
No.
Okay, so this next one, drying paint watcher. There is a job out there where your only obligation is to watch paint dry. And they use this job in certain situations where, like, paint manufacturers, they have individuals monitor how the paint changes color from wet to dry to make sure that it's the consistency and the colors that they want.
So stupid.
Yeah. Imagine having that job.
It would suck.
What are you doing? Watching paint dry.
Yeah. You know this is what I was going to say. And it's in the realm of jobs and stuff, but at the same time, it's kind of different. So you ever watch those those shows like House Hunters and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know what really bothers me about those shows? It'll be like a husband and wife. And be like, oh, what do you do for a living? It's like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And your husband is a basket weaver or something. Yeah. You're like, our budget is $2.5 million. It's like, how? How is it $2.5 million?
They leave out the trust fund.
Right. Yeah.
They don't talk about the trust fund.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about their daily obligations as a worker.
Yeah.
But they don't tell everybody that mommy and daddy got a fucking
they have
a $1 billion trust fund that they have full access to.
Yeah, they're just ugh. Anyway, that's was bothering me. So.
Dude, that's a real thing. I think you ever look at some people that you went to high school with and you just see where they're at in life and you go, how the fuck are you where you're at and you have what you have?
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of like put two and two together and you're like, the only way you have what you have is because mommy and daddy have to be fucking helping you still.
Or you married into it.
Or mommy and daddy gave you the opportunity to just make that kind of money.
Yeah. Or you married into it.
Dude, it happens everywhere. And
I literally watched like 4 flies just go right to your fucking hand.
And I do feel like sometimes like you compare yourself to like other people that you know, are from your town that you're friends with or or whatever. You compare like where you're at compared to them. But it always seems like it's unfair circumstances. And you rate yourself lower than you should in like how well you're doing in life based off of where they're at and you're at.
Right.
But you didn't have the fucking the route of travel that they did. Perfect example of this, a buddy of mine he was actually a supervisor of mine when I was in the service. This dude's family owned like a fucking high dollar foreign car. What do you call it? Dealership or multiple dealerships. Super fucking loaded, right? His family had so much money. The Air Force was actually trying to get him to get out because he was like a liability. Like he had too much money to be making a paycheck in the military and listening to like commands, right? Yeah. So there was a time where they tried to get him out. But I was on TDY with this guy one time and he walked up to it was like a lieutenant colonel or something. We were at the bar and they were bullshitting about like who makes more money or something. And he looked at this lieutenant colonel and he goes, I'll bet my entire paycheck that my bank account's got more money in it than yours. And this lieutenant colonel was like, deal. Because he was like a tech sergeant at the time.
Yeah.
So they fucking pulled up their fucking bank on their phones and they went, yep, here you go. And that lieutenant colonel's face was like, what the fuck? You fucking pool sharked me, you fucking cunt. And I don't think he made him pay up the end of the bet, but this dude had so much money. He was driving he had a BMW like sports coupe car.
Yeah.
That he dumped a shit ton of money in to just make it a race car. Just one of those guys, you know. Anyway, so moving on.
I think we're about out of time.
I got sidetracked.
But before we go,
hold on.
You fuck.
I have one more.
Okay. Hurry up.
I have one more. And I found it. This is the one I was waiting to talk to everybody about. There is a job called an intimacy coordinator.
A fluffer.
No.
Oh.
Not a fluffer. You could go with maybe mediator if you wanted to. Their job is to coordinate the facilitation of two people being intimate with each other, aka people that have never done it, people that are awkward, people that are timid, shy, and don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Interesting. Their
job is to be like a fucking therapist in the bedroom and just teach how you're supposed to do it.
Do they do it with like two awkward people? Huh.
Their job is to make sure that you have sex and it's a good experience while you're doing it.
Interesting.
So is that essentially what they did with these new Netflix series, like Love on the Spectrum and something with like I'm down with it or something? I don't know.
Yeah,
kind of.
They set up these mentally challenged people to go on dates, and then like we were watching one the other night.
It is a great fucking show, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Great show.
I mean,
Love on the Spectrum.
It's funny to watch. Like I'm awkward like that with some of them.
My favorite part about the entire show is how genuinely real people with autism or Down syndrome. These people that are on this show are so genuinely real and honest with every fucking answer. Like there's one of them where they're like, "Are you having a good time?" And the one was like, "No." Just being like 100% honest. The honesty in that show is amazing. But I will say so if the job I'm speaking of is what those people do, they don't show you the part of the job that they're referring to here, where the two individuals are actually getting ready to do the deed.
Well, they did on this new Down syndrome one. They like had him in counseling and talking about what do you think sex is?
Yep.
And like it was
take it
because I never see it in that like picture.
Right. Take it to the next step though.
Where facilitating in there.
They are in the bedroom, doors locked.
Like you move your hips like this.
They're naked and there's an instructor teaching them and showing them how they need to do it. That is a job.
Yeah, that's weird.
Would you do that job?
No.
You wouldn't do that job?
Nope.
You'd clean up dead bodies, but you wouldn't do that job.
Yep. That's different. The dead bodies or the crime scene cleanup thing could be like gross, whatever. But that's like, I don't know. That's intimate shit. You know, I don't know. No. I'm good.
Could you do it?
I don't think I would. Like, you're not talking about going into a fucking Johnny Sins scene and instructing them. You're talking about like awkward.
Yeah.
Really like
you walk
socially awkward.
You walk them through it.
Like, no, that'd be weird.
Yeah, because that's
That
more
makes it
like
weird for me.
that should be like a natural thing that happens. You know what I mean?
I would totally do it. I would
bet you
totally do that
You'd
job.
probably be back there fucking crank one out as you're fucking
No,
open.
now you're getting weird about it.
No, you're getting weird about it.
No, you're
The
getting
one
weird
guy
about
that
it.
always says he's not great at it is going to be the instructor.
So bad at this, but I can help you. I know what to do. I just don't practice.
Smack him on the ass. Go, God, man, you're doing a great job. Why'd you hire me? You're doing a great job,
You're so much better than me.
man.
All right, before we go, what's your favorite job that you've done?
My favorite job that I've done.
Yeah.
I have to say, my favorite job that I've ever done was probably working on airplanes in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, it was an experience that I'll never get again, and most people will never have the opportunity to do.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Airplanes was mine.
Airplanes. Jeremy?
I'd have to say what I'm doing now, like working on wind turbines.
Yeah.
Just it's a conversation with anybody you talk to and tell, because
Yeah.
you don't meet a lot of people that have done it before, and so you can always talk about it, and they're always interested in it. So you know, I mean, I haven't done a lot of cool jobs, so that,
Yeah.
goes into the decision too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, airplanes?
I would say airplanes, but I definitely think intimacy coordinator / animal masturbator is probably my tops.
Nice.
Yeah,
I can't believe you ever quit those.
I honestly, well, sometimes I moonlight. I do it on,
Intimacy
like a side.
coordinator.
Yeah, which I kind of consider them the same thing.
You should bring me in on the next one you do, because I'd be curious as to learn.
You
some
cup
of
the balls.
tactics.
You cup the balls, and I'll get the shaft.
You just got to kind of guide it
Right.
in where it goes.
That's right. Yeah.
If it's bigger than mine, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, they're all big in ears. No, airplanes for sure.
Yeah, airplanes. Fuck yeah, airplanes are cool.
Airplanes.
All right, guys. If you have a really shitty job that you've ever done, hit us up in the comments. Tell us what that job was and why you did it for so long. I want to hear all these shitty jobs that are out there they're not respected, they're not thought about, they're not, appreciated. Hit us up. Tell us what shitty jobs you've ever had. We'll go from there. So until next time, we'll leave you with that.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Till
Fuck
then,
you.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. KLYB. I'm chasing her butt cheeks up and down the corn. All these girls have cowboy boots and wear their Wrangler. Fuck me in the butthole. Take two. Chasing their butt cheeks up and down the corn. All these girls have cowboy boots and carry around their pitchforks. Chasing their butt cheeks up and down the corn. All these girls have real nice butts and wear those Wrangler jean shorts.
All right, dude.
Pulled shocks.
Pulled shots.